Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for our weekly office hours. My name is George Soto, one of the co-founders here at AssetMule, joined by my awesome co-founder and CEO, and the guy that I send loving text messages at 2 o'clock in the morning, Justin Dorfman. Today is really kind of a fun reflection because we're going to give you a sneak peek into AssetMule's AI vision. So there's been a lot of conversation around AI. Hopefully everyone knows, because it's not just something that's specific to the tech industry. Everyone is using AI now, and AI is changing our planet. It is changing our society. It's changing our species. As a good friend of mine, Mark Roberge, and I were talking about, I don't know, a year ago, there's going to be a lot of just changes in the way that we work. We're seeing it already, and we might be going to a post-work world, right? At some point, like what's going to be doing it. I don't know when that ends up happening. I think we probably push back before we let go, as in so many things. But today we're going to dive into that vision, and it's something that we've been really focused on from the inception, right? Even before, as we were thinking about what AssetMule would look like well over 2 years now, it was very clear that there was going to be an AI component to it. And in fact, I think, early on we were thinking AI first. AI was not there yet. It's really just in recent months, probably personally, that I've seen it actually work, and I don't have to go in and clean up everything and just do triple the work. So I'm really excited because we've really dug in, and Justin and Dane, my co-founders, have really been super, I think, thoughtful and disciplined about the approach to AI. And so finally we're at the point now where organically we've just kind of leaned in. So without further ado, I'm going to end up handing it over here to Justin. But just for the folks out there, if you do have any questions, comments, feedback, you don't like my hair, which, my wife was saying I need a haircut. She says it in a very loving way, but it's like, get a haircut kind of thing. So if you don't like it, go ahead and comment, and I'd love to hear that. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and hand it off. And again, I'm going to be monitoring the comments here on LinkedIn and YouTube.
Awesome. Well, I think you framed it really well, George. We've been as thoughtful as we could be on how we approach AI. There's a lot of buzz, obviously, about AI. There's a lot of real value within that noise, and we wanted to make sure that we were part of that real value and not just adding AI for the sake of AI. So we've been very thoughtful in how we've approached it, and really the way that I've been thinking about it, at least, is our AI goals are sort of twofold, right? With AssetMule, the first is to make every product marketer a 10x product marketer. What really resonated with me in Jason Oakley's recent report on founding and solo PMMs is that PMM teams are small. They're being asked to do a lot of stuff for collaborating and coordinating across many different teams. And the resources and the tooling that they have to be able to do that is almost non-existent, right? So we've always been building for product marketers. I'm a former product marketer myself. I think we feel a very close connection to the product marketing community. And one of the opportunities I see in AI is really to deliver that 10x in terms of productivity, so that product marketers can focus on where they do the best work, the strategic stuff, and not the tactical order taking. And with our focus on sales assets, which tends to be an area of order taking, maybe we can take a lot of that off their plate. So that's kind of one area. And then the second area is on the buyer side. I think there's a real opportunity. I think this is one of the most, exciting areas of AI to personalize buying experiences and turn these static generic sales assets into personalized buying experiences for every single prospect. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go through three different AI use cases or features that we have in AssetMule, two that have existed for a little while now, and then one that we just released. It's not even announced yet. It's sort of like a little secret thing that we've put into the product that we're testing out ourselves. We're having some of our customers test, and that we're going to be building on in the near future. So let me share my screen and we'll go through each of these. And the first two that I'm going to walk through, as I mentioned, have existed in the product now for some time. And the focus there has been much more on making the 10x, or helping PMMs become 10x PMMs, and really doing that through the lens of setting up your AssetMule account. So the first sort of use case that we've had for AI happens actually in our onboarding. And actually, before I go through that, I know that sometimes we have folks that are new to AssetMule. So I do want to quickly touch on what we do and a couple of things. So if you're not familiar with AssetMule, we make it really easy for product marketers and sales teams to build personalized interactive sales assets. So anything from one pagers to case studies, and you'll see we have a template library here with one pagers and case studies, competitive pages, sales decks, proposals, new feature one pagers, really anything you can think of. And we're constantly building upon this library. So you can build from here, and you build your one pagers, your case studies, your competitive pages, add your brand colors, add your fonts, add your content to these, and really build these in minutes without having to hire any designers or rely on designers. And then these are interactive. You can put videos in them. You can put interactive demos in them to drive more engagement from your buyers, create more interesting and personalized experiences for them, and also track their engagement and get a sense of who your most high priority accounts and prospects are. So that's kind of the quick background on AssetMule. And as I mentioned, the first use case that we had for AI is part of the onboarding process, where we actually generate your first asset for you and use it as an example to train you on how to build assets and how to swap in different things and so on. And the way that it works is, as part of the onboarding, we have you enter in your website URL. So this example is with AssetMule.ai. And what we do is we generate a one pager for you, and we pull content from your website to do that. We pull your logo, we pull your sort of main value statement, your customer logo string. And this is a template that's in our system. So essentially what we're doing is just grabbing content from your website and placing it in the appropriate areas. So you'll see the feature callouts with product images, you'll see the customer quotes, the benefit statements or the differentiators, and so on. And in your first sort of like 2 minutes, 3 minutes of using AssetMule, now you actually have a one pager that you can use, or at least that you can, if you click save and edit in our onboarding flow, what happens is you get taken to that asset page, and it does a quick product tour and introduces you to the various concepts of how you can add new sections and new components and add content to the asset. And in doing that, we not only create your first asset, but we also create it as a template that can be reused. And then we also generate a library of snippets, which are, blocks of content. So the logo strings, the value statements, the product images, all of these become reusable snippets that you can use to build more templates more quickly by, now pulling from that existing library, but also that your sales team can swap in and out from to personalize assets for prospects while using pre-approved content. So for instance, swapping out different quotes and stuff like that. So that's actually the second use case for AssetMule, or for AI in our product, is now that you have your initial templates and so on, we have a AI copilot, which we call Maverick, that is able to populate your snippet library for you on various pages. So in that onboarding process, maybe that pulled from your homepage. Now you want to pull from your product page or a solutions page. So what you can do is just put in the URL for a page. I'm just going to put AssetMule.ai our homepage. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab logos, images, customer logos, quotes, value statements, benefit statements, feature descriptions, differentiators. And in the future, we'll also pull stats, videos, interactive demos, and even be able to generate these from more than just URLs. We'll be able to generate them from PDFs as well, or decks. And I'm just going to do this example for AssetMule.ai, but I'm also going to pull up AssetMule.ai so I can show you what we're pulling. We're pulling things like, again, this value statement or this logo string, or these images, and so on, that you can see here. So now if I hop back there, you'll see it, right? We've got the quotes and the images and all the feature descriptions and so on. And what I can do is I can check the ones that I want to import, uncheck the ones that I don't want to import, and save them into my snippet library, where now I can pull from to build new templates, new assets, and that my sales team can pull from to personalize them. So again, that was kind of the first phase, I would say, of AI within AssetMule, really helping that onboarding process, helping the product marketer get to value very quickly from our perspective, but also from the product marketing's perspective, product marketer's perspective, 10xing their output, right, by getting them those initial templates, those initial snippets in the library, so that now they can start building for their sales team. And as you start building out those assets or those templates from our library, you now get your own templates here that your sales team can start creating assets from. And the way that it worked up until this point was a salesperson would create an asset from this template. And I'm just going to open up real quick here. And actually, I'm going to make a copy of this real quick to show you this example. And the salesperson would then manually add the prospect's logo. This is a follow-up asset. So this asset is designed to be sent after, let's say, a demo, where the salesperson has discovered sort of the main challenges and priorities that the prospect is experiencing. They were able to identify ways that their product could solve for those pain points. And they showed them maybe a quick demo of that as well. This is like that follow-up asset that they'll send them to re-articulate all that stuff to the prospect, but also to give them an asset now that they can share internally with their team and almost sell the solution internally, right? Relay that value proposition and how this solution can help them and so on. And as I mentioned, up to this point, that personalization has been done relatively manually. The salesperson will come in here, they'll add the logo, they'll add the prospect's name, they'll record a quick Loom video and drop in the URL here to add it. They'll bullet point type out the priorities and the challenges that they heard on the call, and then how, the bullet points of how they believe that they can help. And then maybe the rest of it was pretty streamlined, right? Like already pre-populated by the product marketer with the interactive demo and the stats and the quote and so on, but with that ability for the salesperson to swap in from that snippet library. But the next phase of where we're going to be working and where we see this going with AI and AssetMule is now automating that personalization, right? We just released a feature, kind of the first step in doing that. And it's these variables that you can start to put into the AssetMule template in order to generate automatically some of these elements. So some things are relatively simple, like the logo for the prospect or the name of the prospect. And to do this, all we have to do is use a variable here for the name. But some of them are a little bit more interesting, where instead of now writing out these bullet points, what we can do is I'm going to actually remove this bullet point here. And instead, I'm going to put in a variable here that's going to allow me to actually generate those bullet points from a call transcript. The variable is transcript challenges, right? And what this is going to do is actually generate their challenges, their priorities and challenges from a call transcript, whether it comes from Gong or whether it comes from Chorus or whether it comes from Fathom or any tool that you're using. And similarly with the solutions, now I don't have to write these up, read my call recording or rewatch my call, look at my notes and write these up. But what I can do is use a variable here, transcript solutions. And now when you see me save this template, you'll see this new AI generate asset option that comes in here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to the templates here. This is the template that I just created just to show it from the salesperson's perspective and how they would interact with this. So now, again, instead of creating an asset from this template and filling all those things in manually, what they'll be able to do is click on the generate option, and they're greeted with a couple of fields that now they can fill in. So I actually had a call recently with MongoDB, and I'm going to generate a follow-up asset based on a Fathom recording transcript that I have here. So I'm going to put in the name of my contact in here. Actually, I'm going to put in their email address here. And what this is going to do is it's going to pull in their name in the name variable and also pull in their logo from the domain that's in their email address. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over to Fathom, and I'm actually going to, copy the transcript here. And let me find where I was, paste it into the transcript field here. And again, this is now going to generate those bullet points for the transcript challenges and the transcript solutions. So let me go ahead and do that. And it takes a couple of seconds here, maybe like 30 or so seconds. But yeah, that's what it's doing now. It's actually doing the manual work that I would have done as a salesperson using that template and generating that asset. So now we can see what it's done, right? It's automatically pulled the MongoDB logo here. It's pulled in Scott's name, and it's actually generated the priorities and challenges from that call. And of course, I can go in here and I can adapt them as needed, but this is going to save me an enormous amount of time from reviewing my call, my notes, typing these out. And to be honest, I use this template day in and day out. After every demo, I'm sending this template out to prospects. And obviously the logo, the name, that's pretty easy to do. But the thing that takes the most in this follow-up is writing out those priorities and challenges, writing out how our solution can help those specific priorities and challenges. And that's exactly what we can do here.
And Justin, I just wanted to say, even though the logo and the name is something that's super quick, as salespeople, I still think this is super huge, just that little detail.
Yep, exactly. So like this is now ready to go, and I can go ahead and save this AssetMule for MongoDB, and now share it with my prospect and track as they engage with it. So that's now available in AssetMule. Again, it's in sort of prototype form where you do have to type out the variable, right? In the future, we imagine it having a sort of, as you type in the curly bracket to start typing in the variable, a menu of variables that you can pull in come in here and that you can select from, right? And this brings me to sort of where we're going with this. So priorities and challenges, solutions, that's only the beginning here, right? You can imagine in the future us being able to actually have the AI, have Maverick, our co-pilot, pull from your snippet library the most relevant snippets that you have based on the call. So they could pull your Nevada demos, right? And which ones from the library are most relevant to the use cases that that prospect mentioned in the call. They could pull from a library of different stats that you have, or ROI metrics, the most relevant ones, again, based on that transcript and the use case or what that prospect is trying to solve. They could pull the most appropriate logo strings based on that company and their size or their industry, and also pull the most relevant quotes, again, based on the use case or the persona of the person that you're talking to. They could even string in the most relevant resources, right, that you have based on what that prospect said that they were interested in terms of next steps, whether they had questions about pricing and pulling that in, or questions about your professional services offerings. They could pull in the most relevant additional resources for you to bake in here. And that's kind of where we're going with this. And even beyond that, we can imagine now a world where you may not even have to select from AssetMule's template library, but instead you can interface directly with Maverick and write the type of asset that you want. I'm looking to build a case study based on this particular customer story that's on our website, or I'm looking to create a competitive comparison asset on us versus this competitor that has come up, and make it specific to the things that this prospect cares about based on what they mentioned in this call that I have a transcript for. Or, I'm looking to generate a proposal for this particular prospect. Here are all the transcripts for the 5 calls that I had with him, and generate a proposal for me that speaks exactly to their use cases and their concerns and the pricing that we quoted them and the implementation plan that is most suitable based on their use cases or their size of company or the package that they're most likely going to choose, right? You can imagine a world where you just sort of write a prompt and these assets are automatically generated for you. So that is where we're going with all of this. But as I mentioned, the 3 things that we showed today are available. If you're new to AssetMule, when you sign up, you will get your first 1-pager generated for you. You'll get all those snippets populated into your library. And then if you're a new or an existing user, if you build out some of these templates, specifically that follow-up asset template, you can replace what we have in there right now, right? These, add your priorities and challenges sort of placeholder text with the transcript challenges variable and the transcript solutions variable, and you can replace our sort of name here with the name variable, and actually set your sales team up to auto generate these off of call transcripts. So those are all available today, but hopefully that gives you a vision of where we're going. And I'll pause now for questions.
Yeah, I mean, just a reminder for folks out there, if you do have any questions, comments, you don't like it, whatever it is, do let us know.
Or if you have an idea of what, where you could see this going, I think that's really cool too.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm super excited about this. I can see, all the sort of different possibilities, and I've always said that, and I've been doing sales tech stuff for, I don't know, a long time. And I've always said that the moment you have to task the salesperson with doing something that is not a call or connecting with his or her prospects or customers and thinking through the conversation, developing the relationship, all the stuff that we are tasked with as a salesperson, the moment you end up allowing us or forcing us to do those things, not only are we going to be less effective in our job, because naturally we have to now think about this sort of stuff, and we're not going to be as productive. But we're not going to do it unless it gets us in trouble not doing it. Right? It just is what it is. Like, I've been a sales leader, 100 times, been at that rep as well and all that. And so, we'll cut corners. And so, this is one of the things that I'm really, really excited about. Listen, to be able to scale and understand, kind of what works, what doesn't work, et cetera, we needed CRMs. I get it. I've been a big fan of CRMs and so on and so forth. But Justin, you've been a sales leader as well, and you've been a rep. You know how it is. The reports are off. What are you doing? You got your one-on-one tomorrow with your manager. What are you doing? You're running into the CRM and dumping in garbage. Your notes suck. Not yours, because yours are. You're the only person whose notes suck I've ever met in 20-something years that don't suck, I should say. And so it's just really, really exciting. Like, who doesn't want to create a personalized content experience for their prospect that's not too much, but has enough meat on the bones to add value and to engage in the asynchronous buying, right? And buying committees, et cetera, that need to happen these days, right? But it's time consuming, right? And so, this is what one of the reasons why I'm so excited about what we're doing here is because we're really automating those things and kind of allowing every prospect to get that white glove experience.
Yeah, and to tie it back to the two goals that I mentioned at the beginning, right? The first being to help product marketers become 10x product marketers. We hear it all the time. Product marketers are constantly being pulled away from the strategic to the tactical. And a lot of the times, I know there's like almost like a meme out there. It's a one pager, right? It's like, I need a one pager for this. I need a one pager for that. Imagine being able to populate your library, your AssetMule library, with base templates with your brand theme and snippets, right? Contents, and then allowing an AI agent to answer their requests in real time, right? You can now focus on the strategic, knowing that the tactical is being taken care of, no matter the scale, right? Not, 5, 10 salespeople, 10 salespeople, 100 salespeople all have this being delivered to them. And you know that the quality is going to be good. It's going to be on message. It's going to be on brand. It's going to look good because you set the foundation of that account, which, again, with some of the AI stuff in the onboarding that we have, only takes minutes, right? So that's the 10x side. And then from the sales side, the ability to personalize or deliver personalized experiences to every one of your prospects, make them feel like they are the only customer that you have, right? I always say this, I've said it many, many times, the best sales experiences or buying experiences that I've had are those where I feel like I'm the only customer for that salesperson. And now there's the ability to do that for every one of your prospects without the unscalable work that would usually be required to do it because of the power of AI. So what you saw today is really just scratching the surface. These are just the bones, but keep your eyes peeled because what's really exciting from our perspective is the infrastructure now is there, and now it's all about just imagining all the things that we can do and layering those on top of this infrastructure here. So much, much more to come here soon on this front. But for now, give it a go and let us know how it works, right? Give us your feedback. Let us, help us fine tune it, help us refine it, help us add more prompts, more variables, more use cases to this, because that's our path to getting to where we all want to get to, I think, here.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. It looks like we don't have any questions or comments or feedback on my hairdo. Maybe I'll have a haircut by next office hours. But we'll go ahead and I think wrap up here. Just a couple sort of notes. We are, for the folks who are familiar with this office hours, we have historically done a lot of just like Justin and I speaking to different topics and features and etc. But we're going to be expanding these office hours to feature other experts in the go-to-market, product marketing, etc. space. So keep an eye out for those. We'll make some updates, but it's going to be really cool because, not only will you learn about AssetMule on these office hours, but we're hopefully going to add value and bring on some folks who will educate you. So while you're sipping on your ramen noodles or your kombucha during lunch, you can learn a little more about go-to-market topics here from some of the best out there that we see. So for the folks who are repeat offenders, thank you so much for doing so. If you're new, thank you. Really appreciate it. If you're an AssetMule user, we very much appreciate it. If you are curious and want to check it out, there's absolutely no risk. Go to assetmule.ai. You can use the free product, kick the tires on it, get access to everything, the things that we're talking about here today, and let us know. And again, no pressure. But if you do like these topics and the content that we put together, go ahead and click on follow here on LinkedIn or subscribe on YouTube. As you could probably see, we spend a lot of time on content and trying to add value and build community out there. So would appreciate it if you do enjoy and want to follow us and attend other events. One quick thing, if you are in the Bay Area, we're going to be doing an event at Sierra Ventures, which is an enterprise-focused venture capital firm, April 15th at 3 p.m. So swing by if you're excited about that. DM us, Justin and I. We can give you a VIP code. It's a free code that'll get you a ticket. If you're in the Bay Area and want to learn, it's going to be on how to master product marketing and execute in 2025. We're going to have 2 topics. One is going to be more of a team building, sort of bigger company, scaling those PMM teams and efforts. Another one is going to be one of my favorite, which is the solo PMM, founding PMM discussion. So Justin's going to be on that panel, and we're going to have some other awesome folks on that panel. So I'll go ahead and put the link in the comments here so you can see. But without further ado, we'll go ahead and wrap up. Hopefully we see you in the Bay. So yeah, I will be flying to my old stomping grounds and giving Justin a hug. But I'll give you a hug too. So I'm a big hugs guy. If you want to hug, you
free
got
hugs.
free hugs. It's like that YouTube video, or I think it's on like other platforms too, where there's a guy like holding a sign saying free hugs.
Yeah, free hugs. Yeah,
I'm that guy. So, all right. Well, have a great day, and talk to you soon.